Have you checked the children? You're a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes. That is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Susie Von Slaughter.
We are here to review a movie that, when we finally got around to it, it ended up not being as good as it had been built up to be. I've been hearing.
Told us to review.
It was me.
You'd think
it was me.
Yeah.
It was
Not
me.
Jaime.
I said
Not
we
Jaime
should.
this
No,
time.
not this time. I said we should review this because I'd heard so much about it, and frankly, I thought Marsha would review it because it's more serial killer-esque.
Mm-hmm.
But I did get around to finally watching the Poughkeepsie Tapes. And it had been unattainable for a while. I finally just bit the bullet and bought the Blu-ray because it's not on any streaming service.
I'm so sorry for you.
I know. Well, hey, look. It was a big cult thing. A lot of people were talking about it the way people were talking about Blair Witch back in the day. And I obviously knew it was fake, but it had a lot of buzz behind it. So I gave it a try. And it's about... all of these tapes were found that are called the Poughkeepsie Tapes because it's just all of these VHS tapes that apparently belonged to a serial killer at one point who taped all of his crimes, or a lot of his crimes.
Yep.
And it's about the detectives that are involved that found the tapes, and they're watching the tapes, and...
It's a mockumentary.
A mockumentary, exactly. But not in the sense that it's a comedy. It's a mockumentary in that it's a faux documentary. So, it's a fuckumentary.
Pretty much.
Basically, it's a fuck you mentary, because that's the way I felt by the end of it.
Yep.
And here's what really bummed me out. It's not a bad idea.
No.
But
I was really hopeful in the beginning.
It's carried out very
innocent.
clumsily. And
Yes.
the absolutely biggest misstep, which unfortunately, I feel like this movie was made or broken by this thing, and this thing broke the movie rather than making it. And that's the serial killer.
Oh.
The guy himself who plays the serial killer on these tapes is so meek and so unterrifying and just so unengaging and just so like the nerdy kid that you just annoys you, and it's like, I don't even believe you, man. Like, you just want attention. This isn't about anything else.
Right.
You're just weaselly. You're not scary. Like, they needed someone with a deep, scary voice. It was not that. And so, ultimately, what the whole movie was driving at was the reveal of this killer.
Well, it's not even...
It failed. It failed entirely, so it broke the movie to me.
You needed to have a deep, scary voice. You needed to have someone with conviction.
Conviction,
in the
charisma.
Yeah. And it was so... just...
lackluster.
Ugh,
right?
Garbage.
So did it completely break it for you too? Because
yes.
it completely broke it. I was like,
was
the whole
terrible.
movie hinges on this guy who did all of this terrible shit.
Yeah.
And then when we finally see him, I'm like, really? No.
Yeah.
No, I don't care. And we're not going to spend a terrible amount of time on this review, you guys. It wasn't requested by anyone. I just wanted to do it because I'd heard so much about it. And look, maybe I'm not giving credit where credit's due, but I've watched a lot of found footage movies at this point. I know from good found footage movies, this is not one of those movies.
It's not done well. Even all the actors that they had doing the interviews was terrible.
Bringing me out of the movie. Literally
Absolutely.
Bringing me out of the movie.
100%. It was not done well. It doesn't really seem like there was a lot of money put behind it at all. I mean, the only thing that I thought was minorly okay was actually one of his victims. The one that she did do an interview after the fact. I thought she was a bit, like, convincing. She was more convincing, but...
A couple of the interviews are at least passable.
Yeah.
But overall, man... And again, when everything hinges on your bad guy and he just comes off so lame... Your movie just comes off lame.
I mean, there are those guys who are the serial killers that you'd never expect, who are small and meek, but there was no, like, I don't even know, there's no method to, you know what I mean? Like, he's don't do that!
Yeah, no, if I had watched this before I'd watched a number of other serial killer movies since this originally came out, I think this is a mid-2000s movie. So if I had watched it back then, I might have been, like, more on board for it.
No.
But we've just seen the same thing done and done so much better at this point that it's just not good.
I don't think so. I think even before I'm watching it, I think it's garbage. It's garbage. It's not good. It's not good at all. Not worth your time.
I mean, we agree on it. We're not going to harp on it. There's no effects to speak of because it's all told in black and white security cam footage, essentially. Not black and white necessarily, but security cam footage style. You know, a lot of the stuff, and obviously not the main characters, but all of the tapes are that ilk, and it's just not interesting. It's not engaging. God, there's just so many shows and movies that have done this engaging serial killer better at this point. So
it's not just the serial killer. They completely missed the mark with everything. The acting, like I said, besides the one girl who was minorly, convincing, I could see that, terror in her a bit, and the brainwashing, but everything else they completely missed.
I'm guessing they didn't have much of a budget, being an independent movie, but
even then, I've seen great movies that didn't have a very good budget, and it was amazing.
Agreed.
These
I'm just trying to give them, excuses or outs or whatever.
Stop it.
All right, fair enough. Guys, we just weren't big fans of this, and if you are, and you may very well be, and you may have already downvoted the video, but if you are, tell us why you like this movie so much. Because honestly, as much as I've watched, and as big of a cult following as this one seems to have,
which is crazy.
It's weird. I get the cult following of a lot of movies. I don't get if there's really a cult following of this movie. I just don't get it.
No.
So let me know if you disagree with us in those comments down below. And while you're down there, if you enjoyed this review, click the like button and subscribe. Until next time, though, we'll be back with a review of a movie that we like a little bit better, I hope. I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Susie Von Slaughter.
And remember, stay scared.